Recording in progress. That's just going to be in every episode from now on. I can't not repeat it.
Oh man, the cold open. Recording in progress.
You know what they say? Openings best served cold.
Served every day. You know, it's funny that we're here again.
It feels like a lot longer than a week off.
Yeah. I'm saying it's funny that we're in dumpster fire mode again.
Oh, yeah. You know, things are wild right now in everybody's lives.
It's fucking rough. That's all I can really use. It's the only word I can think of. Is just, it is rough.
I mean,
here.
like, you just had a kid, I just had a kid, and Josh is moving.
And we're the ones on the fucking
country.
We're the ones on the fucking mic right now.
Yeah, wild, huh?
No offense to Josh whatsoever. Josh is a beloved friend, and he's admittedly going through the Thunderdome right now.
I mean, man, I really didn't do much in it yesterday, and I didn't want to record. I don't blame him for not wanting to record after driving that long.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
No, I do blame him. He should be here. This is important to people.
There's people who count on you, Josh, and you're not here for them.
Look, if JJ expects me to have this thing ready by Sunday, you have to be here. Okay?
That's true. Sure, JJ missed us last week.
You know, I don't even think he mentioned it to me.
Last week was an anomaly, though. I mean,
yeah.
We had every intention of recording, and then no one said anything in the group chat until like after midnight. And I think it was you. Josh didn't even open his phone last weekend. And then I got a message from you when I was going to bed, and you were like, if anyone's up,
well, I don't see. I don't
here.
Normally like when I put the kid to bed, I do it in the rocker.
Right.
I put her to bed in the bedroom, and I passed out in bed with her, and woke up at like midnight 30. I was like, "Hey guys, are we still recording?" Or
yeah, that was probably that's probably for the best.
Yeah.
But here we are, episode whatever you want to call it, dumpster fire number 4.
Dumpster fire 4.
D4.
So when we're numbering the episodes, I think we should like overall like count the dumpster fires, but number them separately.
I consider these like, even though it's not all 3 of us, and I feel like that's more special than just 2 of us doing the show. But I consider these like special episodes, if you will.
It's something. It's just a little different, a little more laid back, because we're real uptight for the main show.
Right? Yeah, we're all scripted. By the way, we're paid to say everything that we tell you guys on here. Just so you know, not really. We are literally 3 of the brokest people I know doing this just for fun. At this point in time, but someday we will spread enough misinformation that we will be bigger than Joe Rogan. And then Elton John is going to come to the table, and he's going to say, I don't want my music on Spotify if those guys are on there spreading all that misinformation.
I mean, we just need someone who's willing to talk, has a doctorate in anything, and is willing to wear a lab coat. I mean, and it's true.
Yes. See, and here's my problem. I don't find it to be really a big loss to lose Neil Young music off of Spotify.
I couldn't even tell you a Neil Young song. But
you would know one. You would know one if you heard it or listened to it.
Probably, yeah.
It's like his biggest hit, and it's his number 1 on Spotify.
Let's see if his number 1.
I was gonna say his music's still on here.
That's so funny.
But I was actually looking at Spotify, but now I don't know which song it is because I don't even know Neil Young music that well.
Yeah.
But if you went through his top played music, you'd recognize a couple of them, and you'd be like, "Oh yeah, I heard that on the radio when I was a kid in my dad's car on the way to school." That's about the only place Neil Young ever held any significance in my life. was in the radio on the way to school in my dad's car. So he'll be dearly missed from the Spotify community, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I'm sure
And
that's where
you
his
know
fan
what?
base. No,
Oh
I
yeah.
bet Neil Young fans listen on fucking iHeartRadio. That's an old person's app.
Oh yeah, there you go. Pandora.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's listen to that internet radio.
What's
That,
funny is
you
he
know.
he said he hates Spotify anyways. So
Oh
it's just
man. Damn, dude. Really?
yeah, I forget
Spotify
why.
is like my lifeblood, bro.
See, I love it too, but they apparently pay the least for the artist.
Ah,
Not my problem.
they've been, you know what, they've had so much skin in the game. They were like, I get that Rhapsody is older than Spotify, and Rhapsody's like OG music streaming. Like when I was a little kid, Rhapsody
I remember Rhapsody
was
commercials.
was how you listened to music on the internet without a CD, and you could literally browse a catalog that at the time felt infinite. And
Now it truly is infinite.
well, yeah, now it's Napster, right? And Napster, much like Spotify or Apple Music, whatever you have, you would find a whole lot more than just music now. You have things like podcasts, which, that's what we're here doing. You have storytelling, you have playlists and radios, and just so much content to absorb. For me, it's overwhelming at times, but that's been kind of like my New Year's resolution, is to expand my horizons musically and listen to shit that I don't normally listen to.
I love that for you.
Because you get tired of the same old shit, and
See, that's
eventually you
why I
want to
like
hear something new.
Spotify.
Yeah,
They
it's easy to find.
recommend
It's
a
easy to
lot of
find
good
new
stuff.
stuff. Yeah,
It's so curated. I love curated content, but I hate curated ads. I want to see ads that have to apply to everybody because then they're good quality.
yeah, absolutely. I personally hate ads with every fiber in my being.
See, but I love commercials. Like commercials, you had to put some effort into. You know what I
but
mean? Back when
commercials
cable
were
TV was in its
yeah,
prime.
commercials were different when we were kids, man.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you used to watch the Super Bowl just so you could see the new commercials. That was the
Exactly.
hype. Like,
But ads are horrible and thoughtless and usually well or not well put together.
and the first one's always a car commercial.
My favorite Super Bowl commercial of all time is the '84 Lumber commercial.
Oh my God. The one that got away, man.
The only advertising they've ever done.
The one, and quite literally, I can speak from insider sources, the only 84 ad you are ever going to see aired.
I bet that
ever.
was what the fuck is his name? Big man.
Joe Hardy?
Joe Hardy. Yeah, I bet that was his last fuck you before they got him out of there.
Oh my God, dude.
Because he's like, no, we grassroots advertise. He's like, fine. You shareholders are going to make me advertise. It's going to be the worst fucking ad in the history of humanity. So you're never going to want to do it again.
I don't even want to dissect that commercial. All I'm going to say is
look it up.
Go watch it on YouTube because it's there. I promise. Look up 84 Lumber Super Bowl ad and the rest is history. You watch that and you're just like, oh, so you mean they don't want people to actually do anything with them? All right.
Wait, but they want the good ones.
They want the good ones.
They want the good ones.
We want the ones that want it, the way it was.
Yeah.
We're not going to identify anybody, but we're looking for the extreme nostalgist out there, the extremists, so to say. Yeah, if you have half a mind and you can dissect our fucking altered speech right now, then good luck to you. But anyways, yeah,
we're still afraid Joe Hardy is going to send his team in a Black Hawk to take us away.
84 Lumber was honestly and truthfully to put that little hiccup in their history to bed for a second was for me at least, a really good experience, and did a lot for me in a lot of ways. So I know we worked there together shortly. And that's how we are where we are today, which I will be forever thankful for. But it's not hard to say that your experience there and mine were two completely different ones.
Mine was half really great and half like really shitty. Like when I first got there, it was like, oh, this is a pretty good company. The culture seems good. It seems pretty genuine. And then about the halfway towards the end, I was like, man, I hope that car rear ends me so I don't gotta fucking go to work. Just hit me fucking 60 miles an hour.
Yeah, I know. It was tough for some people. There was a very cliquish not economy atmosphere there.
What's crazy with like 9
Ecosystem,
guys
if you
working
will.
there, how clicky it was with
Yeah, it's
nine,
bad.
9
And
grown men.
so you have like cliques of 2 or 3 people, and then you have cliques that cross over. Like my clique associates with your clique, but don't talk to that clique over there. That clique's retarded. You know? And anyone who still works there, which I believe Kevin Gosnell does, not to like throw out names, but
Doxton, what's his address?
Kevin G. That's all I'll say. Kevin G still works at the old 84. And KP is still managing it. I visit there actually once in a while, mostly because I love and just absolutely miss my old running buddy, Lonnie. Lonnie was
Is he
real.
still there?
Yeah.
I love Lonnie.
Lonnie is real people. And he was like the Lumberyard dad. He was the oldest dude working up in there, and he slayed in the yard, bro. He was a load builder. He was an MT first, and you were an MT with Lonnie.
Bro, he hated that shit so much.
Oh, I know he did. Every time he answered the phone, you could see the pain in his face. He would say, "Thank you for calling 84 Lumber. This is Lonnie. How can I help you?" And like this really like monotone kind of like low peppy voice. And then every time someone would ask him if something's in stock, he'd be like, "Nope."
And no explanation. No, I can order it for you. Or
I can order it for you. Lonnie literally fell on that grenade every time it presented the chance. If he couldn't type it into the computer, which
it wasn't easy.
Lonnie was actually pretty computer savvy.
But that POS was shitty.
That POS was running if it's like OG DOS with like with like a 2017 like gloss over. Like you can put phone numbers in here and email. Isn't that neat? So yeah, it was a black screen with white text. And
it was like
awful.
Yeah. It was the Windows Safe restart screen.
Yeah, if you've ever played Fallout, it was the hacking screen on one of the computers. It was just fucking awful. But it was easy after you like got the hang of it. That was the weird part. Once you learn, like, and you kind of have to dumb yourself down to learn it.
Well, because you have to like learn a new language basically to like.
I mean, none of it's mouse input. It's all keyboard input. So it's everything's labeled too. I mean, it tells you what buttons to hit, but finding the buttons is like you got to know you got to know the secret passwords to get to where you can actually start reading things. But yeah, that place did a lot for me in a good way. That honestly didn't end doing enough for me, which is why I left. It's not the people. Because in the end, cliques or not, I got along with everybody. And, there was one person who showed up at the very end who I did not expect to leave with as an acquaintance. But Alex and I did end up eventually getting kind of close towards the end.
See, I could see that. You get a lot of walls up. This is probably not good content.
No, it's not. It's really bad because we're talking about our old works and shit. But you can edit out like all that if you want to. I don't really care.
No, it's good.
It's wholesome content. It's from the heart. All right, I'm speaking from the heart. And so what if I've been drinking beer? Fuck you. Leave me alone. I'm feeling
my emotions are valid.
I'm falling into the nostalgia right now. Is what I'm doing. That's how this all started.
Hey, I'm still friends with Austin on COD, so every time he gets on, I see it.
Me too.
I
Is he Ralph? Is he Ralph Copter?
Rafflecopter or something? Yeah.
He was such a
Austin,
bro.
if you're listening to this, you're a bitch. I just want you to know
He was such a bro. He's
that.
he's gone too. He doesn't even work there anymore.
I can't say.
He
Did
went.
he go to a different store or a different
No, he
job?
went to a whole new job in Cleveland, I think. But anyways, getting past the past here. Welcome to the TJ and
I
N
want
show,
to
everyone.
clarify that Nick saying bro was in a derogative term, not.
Listen, I got along with everyone, including Austin. Did I agree with everything he did as a co-manager? No. That's
What
not
a
the
weird
point.
title.
As a co-manager. We could
It's
actually
really an assistant
honestly,
manager.
we honestly have enough content on 84 Lumber to
Just
do a whole episode on just that.
fucking-
And that's just
That'll be our
sound
next
and
dumpster fire.
that sounds just fucking awful. I wouldn't listen to this. This is
Oh
trash.
man.
Hence why it's labeled dumpster fire number 4. So
Yeah, I guess let's get to the real part. Welcome to TJ and N show. It's just Josh and Nick tonight.
yeah,
Josh is, out there traveling the country with his dog.
Josh, it's just Josh and Nick tonight, everyone.
Oh fuck yeah!
Let's
I'm not
toast to the dumpster. Toast to it as it floats down the river on fire.
Hey, I'm 4-4 for dumpster fires so far.
Tyler and Nick are
That's
on
us.
tonight, and our buddy Josh, as you may have gathered earlier, as we discussed about 15 minutes ago, he's having a tough time, so he's not here. So now Tyler and I are going to talk about some off the wall shit, some religion, some lead poisoning. I kind of got my Spotify little rant out of the way at the beginning there, and it
We can touch
derailed.
on it again.
It can. I mean, it's not a big deal. I think it's interesting though, so because I do have an opinion on it outside of the funniness of it.
Now we can't talk bad about Joe Rogan. We have to choose our words carefully, or Spotify will kill us.
No, here's my problem: is a dude who is a music artist is telling a dude who uses the same free speech platform to do a podcast and uploads it to a monetized program like Spotify, just like said artist does. But said artist doesn't agree with his version of the First Amendment platform. But on the other hand, said artist, in this case being Neil Young, right?
Yeah, not the other Neil.
No, my boy, my other Neil. What's his name?
Diamond?
Neil Diamond. Yeah, that's the one. Good job. Neil Diamond's a national treasure. He can't be touched. Now this other guy, Neil Young, on the other hand, I'm sure he's a national treasure to some people. I'm sure a lot of old timers like him.
Hey, I just want to say no one in our listener analytics are over the age of 45, so there's probably no Neil Young fans here.
Word. So, basically I draw the line in the sand with he's basically telling someone that, I'm not going to share this platform with this guy. And he has every right to, but he shouldn't be given the ultimatum. Like he's trying to force Spotify's hand, like you should be agreeing with me that this is wrong. And
Who's Neil Young to like? It'd be one thing if it was someone truly that's like a superstar right now. Like,
yeah,
I don't know, Cardi B. Is she big still?
Yeah,
the WAP
maybe
phase over.
Too. That's like recent nostalgia for some people.
But it's like if Kanye was like, "I'm taking my music off," or Joe Rogan's gone. Like that's something. There's some weight behind that. But like
you might be able to accomplish something with that, but I think at the end of the day, the whole prospect is just ridiculous. If you don't want to share the platform with somebody that has that opinion or you believe is spreading to what you believe to be mass misinformation, then by all means, pull the plug on your content, move it to another platform that it probably already exists on.
See, I have a weird relationship with Joe Rogan because I love his podcast and I think he has some stellar content, but I think he has some dumb opinions on some things, and I think he does spread some misinformation, but I don't think it's like
but he's
not spreading misinformation. He's bringing someone else on and they're discussing it. He's not like, I don't know, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, then that's the whole thing. Joe Rogan is merely a commentary, and he's, whether you agree with what he's saying or not shouldn't be relevant to the fact of whether or not he's allowed to express that on a public forum, even if it's monetized. You can go into YouTube and watch his episodes for free. You don't have to come to Spotify.
Spotify is the only big, I guess, social media streaming app that doesn't have a misinformation policy.
Okay, good for them. That's supporting the First Amendment. Everything
I don't
else
know if
sounds
that's good for them.
everything else sounds like censorship though.
Some things should be censored.
Oh, damn. I'm so sorry to hear that. All right.
Nick, when people tell me the Holocaust didn't happen, they just shouldn't have opinions.
Okay. Well,
they
listen,
don't get to talk.
I
I'm
I
sorry.
don't disagree with you that that's a really, really, really bad opinion. Okay. But to the way in which our Constitution is written and as it stands, you're allowed to have that opinion and you're allowed to
yeah.
express it freely.
Yeah.
Now,
but you should
could
be
you-
limited to the street corners you can walk to from your house and scream from. That's where you should be limited to express that opinion. You should not be able to reach around the world with it, okay?
I get that the internet's a big scary place and there's a lot of impressionable people who use the internet, and I get that is a big problem. However, if this was going on just even 30 to 50 years ago, this wouldn't no one would know that this was going on because the newspaper doesn't travel that fast. You'd be finding out about it like a month later, like,
it's better that way.
oh, look, back in September, some motherfucker got mad at some other motherfucker because this motherfucker thinks this motherfucker's stupid for his stupid opinions. And this other motherfucker's going to pull out of the business deal because of it. You don't want to be associated with no one with opinions like that.
Also, it's kind of really funny though. There's another thing to the whole thing where Neil Young is an artist who puts his music on Spotify and gets money from royalties that way.
Yes, that's the whole point of
Spotify sought out Joe Rogan and acquired him exclusively. So like, you had to see where this is going, right? I really think this is just like a look at me kind of thing from Neil Young because he hates Spotify anyways, and he's just using it as an excuse to get off it and get some press.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Bring Joe down with you. Yeah, whatever. That's fine. I stand by what I said earlier that no one's a Neil Young fan, at least that listens to us. And if you're joining us for the first time and you're over the age of 45 and you happen to like Neil Young, you're welcome here. Okay,
we'll play some Neil Young for you.
I'm not mad that you like Neil Young. I'm mad that Neil Young thinks he's too good to be on Spotify because he doesn't agree with what someone else thinks. That's some like kindergarten shit right there.
I'm not playing with you.
You have lice, and I am refusing to go onto the same playground as you. So, yeah.
You know who else has lice? Every pastor in the traveling religion circuit.
Oh, shit, you really want to do this already? All right, fuck it. Steve Andrews, I think his name is.
Is that the one you sent me?
Yeah, and I have no idea how old that video was, but when I saw it, I laughed, and then I was also like a little like shocked at the same time. I guess not shocked because I've seen people do that before, but it was wild.
I like how he had, so like what happened in the video was he was mad about something, correct? And then he asked someone like, do you want to preach the sermon? Do you want to run this? And the guy's like, yeah, I do. And he stood up. So then
he wanted to read a prayer out of his Bible on the microphone, and or prayer. Yeah, he wanted to do a prayer or a paragraph. What are those called? Whatever. I can't think about that right now. We're on track. Here we go. Access denied. All right, moving on. He wanted to read a prayer, and Steve was like, "Excuse you, no, get this guy out of here. And they drag him out of the church,
His
right?
secret police came out of nowhere.
Yeah, these
They were in
people,
suits and
the,
sunglasses.
the men in black just showed up out of nowhere to
Drag him out of church.
dispatch this guy who wanted to read, you know, a fucking prayer out of his Bible and share with his, people that he is congregated with. And then Steve goes on this whole little like meltdown tangent about how he is the man of God in this building and he's the one who has the qualifications to do it.
I'm the vessel.
And he keeps going on and on and on about how like this is a Baptist church and if you ain't Baptist, get the fuck out. He didn't say get the fuck out, but he said get out. He said 50% of you could walk out of this church right now and it wouldn't fucking bother me. I just want everyone to know that if you think you're gonna come up here and take my microphone while I've got the big boy pants on, nuh-uh, son. And it's one of those things where it looked rather culty. And
I was hoping you'd say that.
And this
take.
Yeah, and this particular we'll call it branch of Baptist church is extreme, which is why I say culty.
See, he fucked it up. His congregate's too small to be acting that aggressive. Well, you got to get more people in the door for you to turn the switch like that.
Yeah, exactly. But if you look at the people, I mean, these people are located out in Tempe, Arizona. And I don't remember the full name of the specific branch of this Baptist church, but they have their own special name that ends with Baptist, But at the end of the day,
Arizona's God's pride.
This church is the antithesis of everything that I've spoken about in the past about organized churches. I just think
evangelical. That's what I think of.
Yeah. Kind of like you're. So the TV evangelical dudes, the dude who blew COVID away in the microphone with the winds of God. I mean, and then he starts speaking gibberish into the microphone, like without doing the seizure thing. He just walking around on stage going, no and everyone's like, wow, he's speaking the word of angels right now. Isn't that fascinating? The word of God is literally coming through his mouth, and we can't understand a goddamn word of it.
Crazy.
Jesus, really?
And who knew I'd get saved and a show?
No pun intended when I refer to Jesus. But quite literally, like this is a guy who flies first class all across the country to preach, by the way. And drives high-end cars and wears fine, Italian suits and has a giant golden globe on the stage, 24 karat gold, mind you. Yeah, they're just a money pit. That's all they do.
Well, yeah. That's why it's funny when he says,
I call them softcore, cults, because they're not, as far as we know, abducting people and murdering them in the woods. But
you just give them all your money and
I'm not saying that's like, a qualification for a cult. It's just unfortunate that most cults end in that. You look at West Baptist.
Westboro Baptist.
Westboro Baptist Church. Look at those assholes.
That's basically a cult.
Those people are a cult, and they do everything that a cult does up into you get to killing people. I don't think they kill people, but
I wouldn't be surprised.
If it came to light, I wouldn't be surprised either. But to the same degree, I don't know for a fact that they've killed people. I am sure at some point in the history of them as an entity have gotten in some sort of violent squall that may or may not have taken a life. I don't know that for sure. I'm not educated on it, but they are heinous people. They are the furthest thing from people of God, at least people who, claim to be such things. And, this Steve Anderson guy isn't quite that bad, but he definitely rides the ego train. And he controls his congregation with a lot of yelling and scare tactics. And then, once they're all under his wing and comfortable there, he can tell them all, if you don't agree with me, you can get up and leave, and I don't care. And then they all just show unwavering support and sit there and take that.
It's funny that he says that, because they pay his bills. Like literally, it's not like me as a taxpayer to the police officer giving me a ticket. I pay your bills. Like, they literally hand him the money.
Well, yeah, and that's why he has. Those people at the end of the day have paid to be a part of what he is providing. And
pay for that spot in heaven.
And that's part of the control. And once you control them in that regard, and you get them to agree to 10%, because that is the commission most churches request to become full-time members, is 10% of your income goes to the church to help support the church.
If I didn't have 10% of my income, I'd probably be homeless.
Well, no offense to 401ks, but that's why I always put in the minimum, the minimal amount of like 2 or 3%.
Yeah.
Whatever everyone's like, well, you should at least invest what you're up to what your company matches. And it's like, no, you don't understand. If I do that,
I need that. I need that money now.
If I do that right now, I don't eat for a week and I die.
Won't make it to retire.
And I won't get to retire anyways, because I'll be fucking dead. So, no, I will put in 3%, and they'll still match that, because that's all I can afford right now.
I don't even like doing that much. Let me do 0.5%.
No, I just do it to have that warm, cozy, you're being an adult feeling. Like, hey, you're actually doing it. You're putting away money that you're probably going to end up paying a shit ton of taxes on because you withdrew it early and spent it on, a broken car.
Or, like me, leave the job and then just forget about it.
Just take the payout, and you're like, roll it over. What? I'm not. No, give me the money.
I want that $50 check. You're gonna take 70%. That's okay.
You just give that to me, and you let me worry about how it gets spent.
Now I don't have to cook dinner tonight.
Yeah. Honey, I got my 401k check today. We're DoorDash and Wendy's.
We don't even gotta leave the house, baby girl.
And then that turns them on. They're like, "Ooh, I don't have to cook, and the baby's already in bed, and we're door dashing. What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah.
I treat you nice.
You like that? Yeah. Just wait till you see what I'm about to do to you later. I'm gonna let you.
This will make up for that.
I'm gonna let you hold the remote and choose what we watched."
I promise to go to sleep in bed and not on the couch.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is how you get laid at the age of 30. Okay.
Or with 2 kids.
Or
doesn't matter what.
Or if you're Tyler, you just have 2 kids, and you're 24.
Yeah, newly 24. Woohoo.
Newly minted 24-year-old right here in the house. Telling you, man. You've aged yourself by 6 years at least by having the second one. So
yeah, I don't relate to anybody I went to high school with.
No. You know what's funny is most of my class ended up having children before we did. So
That's
a lot of them did it in their senior year.
Hey, we waited longer than I thought I would. So
there you go. Micro
That's great.
victories.
It's pretty great.
But regardless, yes, this dude takes people's money, and minus the 10%. I mean, his church could request more.
See, I
10%.
feel like the
10%
10% is
is
not
like
on top of the collection plate, right?
no. You
That's
see,
separate.
there's the 10%, and then there's the donation.
You know how that's paid out? Is that
Donations.
like no, like the 10%? Like, is that like
10%. Oh, I'm sure. Good old
'cause, like you? I mean,
white collar economics. They write them a check.
well, modern day, you could just have that 10% direct deposit in a different banking account.
They don't have to wash money. It's all
Yeah.
non-taxed.
Well, no, I mean like from like your paycheck.
Oh, I
Like it
see.
just takes
Yeah.
10% and puts it in the church's bank account.
I see what you're saying.
Mhm.
I thought you meant after they get the donation, then they could like spread it out like
Yeah.
differently.
No,
Like
no, they don't pay taxes.
No.
They should.
It's one of the most profitable. It's one of the most profitable things in this country.
So, like you say, separation of church and state, right? But we take religion into account for almost all of our laws. That's why abortion's being banned again for some reason.
Yeah.
And like, they don't do any. I don't want to say this is a generalization, I know, but the big ones that make a lot of money don't help their community when they're called upon. They're like, no, this is private property, actually.
They help the people who are in the club,
Hmm.
who are part of, who have the membership to God.
Who can pay to be in the club?
Yeah. People get after Scientology for its pay to play program, and I'll admit theirs is pretty steep in
Pretty
terms
intense.
of
Flying spaghetti monster.
exactly. And yeah, so and the steps that you have to take on every tier of the magical ladder of Scientology just gets more and more expensive. And you basically buy your way into
Mhm.
higher, they call it higher levels of existence or consciousness, where you start out as a grunt, and then you become a soldier, and then you become X, then you become Y, then you become Z, and then
All while
like
becoming closer to God, and
are
you see
closer
more,
or closer to
shedding your human form.
unlocking your alien powers that lie deep beneath your human shell.
So
Yeah.
speaking of them, I don't know all the celebrities. I know there are a bunch of them.
Tom
Tom Cruise
Cruise,
is the
John
one I know.
Travolta.
So Tom Cruise, I kind of believe could be a true believer. But do you think most of them just use it to launder money?
Yeah, they could. Yeah, technically they could,
You know what I mean? It's
because
just
that goes directly to the church. The church takes a percentage, takes a cut, and then washes the money into a bank account that celebrity now has access to, but it's not
Mhm.
income anymore because it's been donated. That is a way, yes, that is a way you could totally wash the money with a church.
Well, how do you think a B-list celebrity like John Travolta
Huh.
still living in his
How
mansion?
has Nicolas Cage gone bankrupt before that asshole?
No taxes.
Yeah.
Now I feel like we kind of dog on religion a lot. I do wholeheartedly believe there are good churches out there, but those aren't the ones you see on TV. They're not the ones, you know what I mean? Like
No. They're
I
the
believe
ones
almost every town has a good church in it, but
they're
like
they're the ones passing around an old wooden bowl
yeah.
to every pew, and thankful for every red cent that falls into it, because that means they can continue operating their church. They all that money legitimately goes back into the church. And I've been a part of churches that are like that, and I like those churches because
It's got to be a wholesome atmosphere.
that's where you find legitimate people. That's where you find just good people all around, people who are actually there and just want to commune with one another, and embrace a mutual belief and something bigger than themselves. I mean, and you're talking about people who would take the shirt off their back and give it to the person beside them. um it's it can be a great thing, and I don't think those churches should be taxed. Those are the
Right.
those are the ones that don't need that in their life because they're just scraping to get by.
But I just feel like even the biggest churches don't really need to bring in more than $1 million a year to keep the lights on, you know?
Well, no, that's where I say there's a threshold, and once you've met that threshold, you need
Tax
to
them 100%.
you need to start talking to Uncle Sam a little bit more, because you know what, that money could go a really long way to actually helping the communities. You don't need, high tech lighting. You don't need an orchestra stage. You don't need flat panel televisions. You don't need high end, surround sound microphone systems. You don't need giant solid gold metal globes on the fucking stage.
How
You
else is
don't
God going to see you
you
through all the noise,
you don't
baby?
need all that to have the fucking Lord in your heart, god damn it.
There's so
You
much
don't.
noise on this earth. God needs to see you through it all.
Yes, yeah. And that's where the excess and the disgust and the corruption and the evil starts to really show its face. And then you have to start thinking like, wow, they're after all these big tech companies who are publicly traded, do pay, maybe not their fair share, but definitely do pay taxes, more taxes than we'll ever pay in our life. As far as I know, unless I hit the lottery, then I'll be paying a lot more taxes, but whatever.
I'll take the lump sum. I don't care.
You
Take
gotta
20%.
You gotta play to win, my friend.
Mhm.
And guess
I
what?
don't play.
Guess what I don't do? That $5 bought a McChicken. Go fuck yourself. So, at anywho's,
Nick, I
yeah.
have an idea.
What's that?
You and I, we start a new podcast. We go undercover and we
Mhm.
rate churches from Joel Osteen to one room church house. Right?
Oh,
Yeah. And we see how they fare.
yeah, we're not gonna look suspicious at all. Two fat
Mhm.
bearded guys coming into we're the newcomers.
Yeah.
We'll call ourselves the church crashers instead of the wedding crashers.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, is there a homosexual couple attempting to attend our church?
Yeah. Step out of the way, Chuck and Larry. We're coming in hot.
That one has a ponytail and holes in his ears.
Yeah. The devil has gone through the boy's ears and his spirit's fallen out. No, but that would be interesting. But you tell me when you find the time, and I'll let you know when I do too.
Nick, you don't have a week out of your month to go to church.
Can we Zoom call it? Can you go to one
That's
and I go
so
to another?
funny.
You cover Marion, I'll cover Delaware.
Exactly.
Honestly, Delaware doesn't have any mega churches. Now
We have one. We have two.
Okay, actually, I lied. There is a Grace Brethren, and I consider them a mega church. They're a multi-location Baptist church.
Yeah, I don't know if we have any multi-location churches or not.
Their
I
flagship
imagine we do.
their flagship, I would say, is probably down in the Lewis Center area. So
I'll have to see. I know we have
south
some
of
big
Delaware.
churches that require a lot of donations. But
Yeah, you'll have that in general. But right now everyone's feeling, the wallet's tightening. And I don't know what the books look like for your average church, but I would imagine the pandemic has crept into their wallets as well.
and the inflation.
Yes.
You know what I say to inflation, Nick? I say, let's go, Brandon. Let's go.
Let's go, Brandon. Let's do it. Let's do it, Brandon.
That's so funny. I have this.
Yeah.
I want to get this sticker for my hard hat that says "Let's fuck Brandon."
That would be great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like we talk about it's weird.
We do. Like
it's
every
weird.
2 weeks.
It's weird that we're talking about religion tonight because we have already talked about it a couple different times. But I'm the type of person, anytime I see something,
You want to talk about it?
yeah,
That's why we have a podcast.
I see something stupid on TikTok. The Steve Anderson guy,
This deserves an episode.
Screaming at the top of his lungs at his congregation, and I'm just like, there's another cult for you, like right there on my fucking phone screen. I got to talk about that next week because it's relevant. We've talked about it before, so it's a good callback in that regard. We're not going to do it again for a while, I promise.
We'll see.
We'll start bringing new content to the table, but I don't know.
What's funny is we're talking religion, and by extension, serial killers.
Yes.
Extension through the lead poisoning. Lead.
Yes.
What's a transition? What?
Where does it begin? I think now's a good time. I mean, there's not much more to say. Mega churches suck.
Big religion bad, small religion good.
Yeah, there you go. Eat the rich, not
Fuck the
just
poor.
in the corporations. Eat all the rich.
Mm-hmm.
Eat them all.
Let them have cake.
And you give me that paycheck when you get it, all right? Because I want my cut. That's my thing. What are they gonna do with the money? I want them to show me what they're gonna do with all these corporations' money if and when they ever get a hold of it.
Show me the money. We can't pass any infrastructure bills or anything, so.
Yeah,
but there is a new war heating up, so it'll go to the defense budget probably. Yeah. being double the size of the next country in the list is not enough.
Everyone dropped their jaw, and I've already talked about this too. I'm gonna highlight it real quick. But everyone dropped their jaw back in 2001. I was about to say 2001, like some old motherfucker. Back in 2001.
210-1.
Back in 2001. Yeah, in my day, the Pentagon lost $1 trillion. Yeah, well, ever since 2001, I don't think they've ever reported an accurate ledger. Let's just say that.
Well, wasn't that cycling through the news a couple months ago?
The Defense
Department audit the Defense Department, audit the Pentagon.
You're not going to find it. It's already been buried, washed, and cleared.
We have too many clandestine things going on right now.
That money's gone. They spent it all. It's gone already.
Where? No. Listen, the Taliban, they just happened to stumble across those AK-47s. The Contras, they just found those ARs laying in the jungle. It'd be what it be, man. It's lucky, happy accidents.
You want to talk about false flags and, other sneak tactics. We've done it too. And the only reason we're calling it out is because we've played the game, okay? We've already played this game before.
I bet he was mad when he started seeing that on Fox News and shit. He's like, no, I can't fucking do it, you bitch.
Well, yeah, I think what the whole situation has started to turn into is that Washington keeps turning up the dial. Like, they're like, things are getting hotter. They're going to do it any day now. Mid-February. Once the ground freezes, then the Ukraine's just like, they finally, like, at first the Ukraine was on board. They're like, yeah, our intelligence is matching up with the US's. There is, an imminent invasion coming. And then, like, a couple weeks later, fast forward to, like yesterday, for instance, the Ukrainian president's coming out and trying to downplay some of the claims Washington's been making now. And I think they're starting to maybe have more progressive talks with Russia, like on a personal note. And honestly, that's the way it should be. America shouldn't have such a heavy negotiation presence. And I understand backing up a country and supporting a country. But standing up for them, and the whole NATO thing, all of NATO has pretty much stood up to Russia and said, yeah, you cross the border, then you're getting the donkey dick from all of us. So
you gonna get it, boy.
And they don't mean like with tools of war. They mean with like economic sanctions.
Insurgency.
Ones that would literally collapse within, I believe, would be a pretty short time, the entire Russian government, like economy, not government, but economy.
Hey, you think Russia still has leaded gasoline?
Are you gonna tell me?
I really don't know.
No, Yeah, they might. I
They
don't
might.
know.
I have to look that up.
You really want this lead, so I'm gonna let you take off with the fly.
I just am not prepared to talk about World War III. That's all.
Oh, neither am I. I just was telling you what I heard yesterday. So that's
Oh,
for
I hope they're, I mean,
the whole
progressive
sit.
thoughts on their
I,
end.
I mean, yeah, I want to see diplomacy too. I honestly, I don't think the world needs a war right now.
I think it's gonna fold. I don't think there's gonna be a war. I think Russia's just like,
I think there's something bigger going on behind the curtain, and
see, I'm almost not to
this is
like,
the curtain right now. There's a new world order trying to take shape right now, and and right now it all hinges on a tiny little island and the Pacific Ocean and a fucking deserted
this is the
wasteland.
false flag operation right here.
Yes, this is it.
Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
what
Yes, let's turn into
look at
QA
me,
on
look
right
at
now.
me. I have a big dick. Look at
Oh,
me.
did you hear? I'm sorry. I really want you to get to your subject, but one more,
You go, you're
one
good,
more,
baby. Baby, I
one.
love listening to you talk.
No, no, no. Stop.
Stop
Stop it. I'm blushing.
it.
No. So I saw this article the other day about right-wing extremist groups are planning attacks on the American power grid. So domestic terrorism.
Hey, before let me devolve this a little more. I read a book about that. That's how it started. It turned into the zombie apocalypse real quick after that. So I'm just saying, be
That's
ready.
rad.
Be ready.
Left for Dead in real
They
life.
were literal skinheads
I think
rampaging this town. Yeah.
I honestly think I could handle a zombie apocalypse better than World War III right now.
Probably,
The
yeah,
zombie
because I
apocalypse
mean,
is easy. You board up your house.
it
You
evens the playing field.
you make a few you make a few trips out of the house for supply runs, and you get to shoot some shit.
I mean,
It all sounds so like high fantasy when you talk
but
about it.
but no, World War III, some drunk Russian is a couple hundred miles off on his calculations, and they hit my house with the nuke instead of the Air Force Base in Dayton. Okay.
It's true.
Yeah, I
That,
know.
and hope Columbus is going down too. So
You think so?
yeah,
You think
yeah,
all major cities? I mean, like if we're like
yeah.
all out, yeah. But like,
Cleveland,
see, but
Cincinnati.
that's the thing. Definitely in like an all out, just dump the clip kind of nuclear war
Like you have
for
to.
sure. But in a selective strike, I don't feel like Ohio's on top of the list.
No, yeah. Obviously, I think you would put your coastal cities on highest alert.
See, I think if let's say they like if it was a selective strike, I almost believe they'd hit somewhere in like the middle of nowhere to be like, look, we can do this, but it wasn't that bad, so we don't retaliate. But we would.
Yeah. No, you see,
We would, yeah.
here's the problem. Once the U.S. has detected a ballistic missile um, over our airspace,
It's all gone. It's going.
there's
It's everything is we're dumping the clip. That's what it is.
that's like, oh, I see.
And it's like it doesn't even matter who sent it. Everybody's getting the smoke. Like if North Korea gets one just a
China,
little
North
too
Korea,
far,
Russia,
you're all three
the
getting it.
Middle East,
Iran just to be like,
Iran. God, all of it.
it literally like
Moscow, they would send like 300 to Moscow. They're like, one of them's gonna hit.
something.
uh, I don't care how many fucking surface to air missile interceptors they have. Which that is like one of the biggest things that has kept Jerusalem, and Israel on the fucking map is the fucking Iron Dome. They're able to shoot down pretty much any fucking Gaza Strip missiles, which admittedly none of those missiles are very high tech. They're all Cold War missiles that the Russians gave them years ago. So no,
How funny would it be if we had like a high secrecy, high accuracy Iron Dome for us, and someone fucked around and found out? Like they just like China dumped their clip and we shot every one of them out of the sky. Could you fucking like?
You know,
Imagine, like,
you have to understand that with our defense budget and with the amount of defense money that disappears,
it's possible.
that money is not just funding private wars. That money is also funding secret shit that no one knows about.
Uh-huh.
And that, honestly, that makes me like,
Feel safe, honestly.
I
I
honestly,
feel,
I feel a little safer knowing that because it's like, okay,
listen,
I
if
know
we
there's some
spend
shit
that
out
much
there.
more than everybody else and we get shit on, we deserve to get shit on. Okay? The government deserves it for doing it, and we deserve it for let it happening. So I just have to trust that money's being spent somewhat correctly.
Well, here's the caveat, right? Like Vladimir Putin like gets his dick hard on when he gets on stage and like brags about his new ballistic missile technology. And he has these missiles that can evade Iron Dome technology. And he has missiles that move faster than anything on the planet of the Earth that break the sound barrier. Literally supersonic weapons is what we're discussing here for just a hot take. And he gets in front of the whole world and shows them all like, look at me, look what I did. We got this now. He thinks that's a deterrent. He thinks he's using that as a scare tactic to show the world like, hey, don't fuck with Russia because we can fuck you up. And don't get me wrong, Russia has a huge military. They have a huge
They
nuclear
could
arsenal.
fuck most of the countries up in the world, but I don't think we're one of them.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying they show their hand in regards of
What they have, yeah,
of
for the most part, yeah.
technology. I'm sure there's some R&D under the hood shit that they don't talk about, but they don't have near the amount of money we do.
That's what I see. I was kind of worried a couple months ago because you hear about ballistic missiles in China, Russia, and North Korea, and nukes in Iran, and this and that, and like no one's talking about what we have to like stop it. And at first that was concerning, but now it's not. So it's like, yeah, maybe it's a good thing.
Well, I mean, everyone likes to daydream, and like people like to claim that they know a person who worked at Area 51, and they're gonna go full disclosure with us and tell us all these little fucking theories that they have, or not theories, but know for facts because they talked to somebody who knows somebody who worked for the Pentagon and reported to Area 51. Okay, no, you don't.
Actually, no.
No, you don't. That's going to be my first. Just
Shut the fuck up.
That's my first response to you. Is no, you don't. No one does. Okay, those people don't even know they worked there anymore. When you leave Area 51, here's my conspiracy. When people leave Area 51, when they retire from that job or quit that job, they either get put in the ground or they get their memory wiped with a little thing called hallucinogenic mind rape therapy, which isn't the official term, but that's how they do it.
I think the official was MK Ultra.
That is the project name, but that is now how they manipulate ex-employees' minds so that they don't share the secrets. So anyone,
no, they just text you a picture of your mom sleeping every couple months.
Yeah. Needless to say, we have a lot of toys deep underground that no one knows about. And yeah, it makes me feel safe actually. And it actually does give me a level of comfort knowing that, and it's a level of comfort I don't think a lot of people take for granted. Like you get a lot of people who get all bent out of shape, but at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, but use critical thinking for just a moment and imagine if they're making all that money disappear, it's not all just going to like one person or two people or even 15. Like that money is funding something that they don't want anyone to see.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the scary / comforting part.
I mean, as well as much as I talk about, taxes need to be spent better, and I think they do. I'm happy that our defense budget is the biggest in the world because hopefully that means we're the safest in the world.
That's the best you can hope for.
We got the biggest dick in the world. That's what that means.
Yeah, and a lot of people.
What did FDR say? walk softly with a big dick? Is that
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that quote. But regardless, World War Three.
lead
Hot
poisoning?
take. Lead poisoning.
So basically, there's a correlation between like the levels of lead found in people's bodies and the crime rate. So we had a big old like crime started to ramp up in the 40s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And peaked in the 90s. Yeah, that's about right. 40s and 90s. It peaked in the early 90s and it's been on the decline ever since. And like it's crazy because if you look at, I'm going to show you, I can't show the listeners, I can post on the Facebook. If you look at this little graph right here, one of those lines is the amount of lead, and one of those lines the crime rate. Like they are like wave for wave, spot on, almost on top of each other. They would be if there wasn't, the lag it takes for people who've been exposed to lead as children to grow up into adults.
So there's a correlation between lead and crime rate.
Yeah. Yes. As far as this hypothesis says,
okay,
that was the graph of like the lead in tons per 1,000 in people's bodies, and then the other one was like the crime rate. And as we used more lead in leaded gasoline and paint and other things, the crime rate rose. And then as we realized, oh, lead's bad for you, we stopped using it, then the crime rate began to fall. And apparently you can track this countrywide all the way down to neighborhood wide. So like neighborhoods who had like a higher lead content, for whether it be being close to a major roadway or like, like a lead factory, they had higher crime rates. And the farther away you got from the sources of lead, the lower the crime rates got. And that matches, like I said, from neighborhood up to country level.
Okay. So like this lead exposure in like in a city, like a major city, let's say a major city had a lead problem, like Flint, Michigan, for instance. Their lines were identical to that of some podunk town like Prospect.
Yeah, if their lead use was the same. The way that this article explains it is that the areas that got away from lead use quicker saw a decrease in crime quicker.
That's so weird.
Isn't it?
Is there like
I know there are a couple studies done.
I was gonna say, is there a study on like what like long exposure to lead to the human body does?
Oh, man, I should have.
Like mentally?
It can mimic like ADHD kind of symptoms, but on steroids. It affects your decision-making part of your brain and your impulsivity control, and your violent, reaction
Your
parts.
Yeah.
But like, and then like that's like an excuse or like a kind of a reason why, on top of, others, why we don't see serial killers so much anymore is because, they were all exposed to lead. But there are a lot of other correlations between serial killers, like head injuries. That's a pretty interesting one. Shitty parents. Shitty is an understatement, but
I would say I think circumstance, like upbringing, has a lot to do with it too.
There's a trifecta I cannot remember. It's a head injury before the age of 10, horrible parents, and then something else. I forget what the third one is. Almost always creates a serial killer. It's like a serious head injury, like a TBI kind of.
Oh yeah, like your brain got touched.
Yeah, like a horrible untreated concussion.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I get that for sure.
But and that's also in a more memey way. You see it a lot. I've seen it on TikTok a couple of times where everyone's like, "Oh, that's why we have Karens. They all have fucking lead poisoning, and they're bitches because But I mean, it was in everything. It was in like in paint, in walls and toys. It was in the pipes. It was in the gas and the air.
Well, when I was a kid, there was a big deal about China still selling toys with lead paint.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that.
America was like, no,
you can't do that. It'll kill us.
We're done with the lead. You guys aren't allowed to sell toys here anymore.
Apparently, in Rome, shortly before the fall of Rome, they started using lead as an artificial sweetener in food and drink. Because apparently lead has a sweet taste. That's why kids want to put it in their mouths and eat the paint chips and stuff.
Ew.
So like yeah, but like knowing what you know now, like putting lead in like your fucking wine to make it sweeter or whatever is
Well,
like
there was and Lonnie, call back to Lonnie from beginning of the episode.
hey.
He enlightened me once about how we actually legitimately thought that we needed like they thought lead was a vital like vitamin slash like mineral for your body, and you could like
Die without it.
yeah, and you could like get lead supplements, and then like science progressed and knowledge of things progressed, and they were like, no, don't do that, that's bad.
Oh, it's like
Let's
doctors used to sell cocaine too.
Oh, cocaine. You used to be able to
Yeah.
smoke in the hospitals, the airplane. You used to be able to smoke a cigarette anywhere.
The
Now
idea
you
of smoking in an airplane to me is fucking wild,
isn't it?
bonkers.
You're just lighting a match in a fucking pressurized cabin 32,000 feet
Press
above
tube.
the fucking
And
ground.
they
Like,
were lighting matches. It wasn't like a little lighter or
it's
like
not,
a
I
little
mean,
cigarette thing.
if
It
you were
was a
fancy, you had
open flame.
if you were fancy, you had a Zippo lighter.
That's only
But
in first class.
yeah, otherwise
Didn't
you
they used to hand out matches on airplanes
yeah,
like they
you
used
got
to
a
in
free box
hotels?
of matches, and you
Uh-huh.
probably got a complimentary, 2-pack of cigarettes. Yeah, the doctor would be sitting there fucking chain
Smoking
smoking,
while
telling
giving
you,
surgery.
coughing his lungs out, telling you that you're fucking dying, and you're like, oh,
You're dying, buddy.
I'm going to prescribe you cigarettes. I mean, that's gonna help your anxiety, and you're like,
It
okay.
does.
Well, honey, I just got back from the pharmacy and I got myself a pack of Marlboros.
Cowboy killers.
The doctor says that it's going to help my anxiety.
It's going to help my cough.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's obviously a progression of a lot of things. I think Reader's Digest was the one who back in like the 60s or 70s blew the doors off of cigarette smoking being
Bad for you.
having underlying, by that time we'd been smoking cigarettes for long enough
100 years.
for us to you know observe the effects of it long term. So I just can't wait till we start hearing what vaping's actually doing to
Oh
us,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
if you guys don't know this about me, I'm a big fucking vapor, and I take at least 100 drags every show, but I mute my mic for the sake of you all because it sounds like a hurricane when I hit
Does
this
your
fucking
does your
thing.
device have a hit counter on it?
This one doesn't. This is
It's
actually
kind of shameful, isn't it?
this one this one is is special to me. This is one that I had when I worked at 84 Lumber,
Mm-hmm.
and it is one that I actually ran over with a forklift,
That is so funny. It
and
still works.
it still works. I mean, and as it should. It's like, I mean,
They can hear it, yeah.
it's metal. It's all metal body. It has a hand poured resin imprint on one side, and then the other side is just a metal plate for the battery door. But it's tried and true, and it's never done wrong by me. And after I ran over with it with a forklift, we created a special bond, so to say.
I love you. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'll never leave you.
I found that thing literally flush in the fucking ground because we had a dirt yard still.
It was muddy. Did you break
And
your tank? I don't think you did you?
yeah, it did.
Did
Tank,
yeah.
well, the glass on the tank was
Yeah, not
shattered,
surprising.
but everything else, even the tank, was still intact. I just had to replace the glass on it.
That's so funny.
I gave that little fucker Alex a brand new stick mod, and the first day he had it, he broke the fucking tank on it because he
That's
dropped it.
awesome.
And I'm like, I try and do nice things for you,
You fuck it up.
and you just turn
Just fuck
around.
it up.
He's like, I broke it.
Was he still on his quest to download every DVD ever?
Not that Alex.
Oh, the other Alex, the
Alex.
little Nazi Mormon.
Yeah.
How do
Nazi
you
Mormon.
do both those things, man? he was a little racist, fucking misogynistic, bigot piece of shit who was really annoying. He was fun to talk to though. He was entertaining to talk to.
He was a
He
good
said some dumb shit.
ignorant.
Look, let me put it this way. My first day, my third day, something like that, we were wrapping a pallet up in dead silence, right? Not saying a word to each other. And me paint the picture. Me, 6'3", 300 pounds, right? Him, five even, maybe 90 pounds, soaking wet, right? And he just stops and looks at me. And he says, they say short people have little dicks, but it's not true. Like literally, it was not prompted or anything. Huh? What?
I still have the mental image of when you walked up to me and told me that.
He sexually harassed me.
You were like, well, I've officially been sexually harassed. And I'm like, what are you talking about, man? You told me that exact story and the look of like pure just comedy on your face. Like you were kind of like
best thing that ever happened to me.
You were like kind of horrified, but also kind of like that.
I can't wait to tell everybody.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I'm happy that happened today. I still have the video of you two wrapping a pallet together, and then he starts just taking it over and does it all by himself. And he's like running around the pallet, and you're just standing there, and you like glance up at me, and you're just like, and then you like shake your head and walk
this
away.
Fucking guy.
And I'm like, there were some good times. Alex was good comic relief for sure.
He was, man.
So lead is apparently capable of making us kill each other, according to science. And in 25 years,
I mean, Nick, every boomer has a story about how they just like they broke a thermometer and played with the mercury, right? They can't be good for you.
Hey, look at this mercury. It looks really cool and moves around really weird. I kind of like that. Yeah. Well,
why can't I see anything?
Why am I dying? I drank it. It looked yummy. It looks like chocolate.
It's fucked up.
Well,
you want to do some Am I the Assholes? I have two Am I the Assholes and a confession post today.
I like confessions.
Oh, the confession post is pretty good.
All right, let's hear it.
First one's kind of short. Am I the asshole for telling my mom that my boyfriend broke her underwear? My 18 female boyfriend, 20 male, started having sex recently. I was a virgin before. I was going to his house one night and he sent me a text asking if I could wear a thong, but I didn't have any. I didn't want to disappoint him, so I went into my mom's bedroom to find one. While we were having physical intimacy, I love that. Like, I say coitus all the time to make Bailey uncomfortable because I think it's funny. But I think I'm going to start using physical intimacy. Hey, can we be physically intimate tonight, you think? Yeah, I'm going to do that. That'll get her nice and moist.
Yeah.
My boyfriend
grabbed ready.
Can confirm. Am moist. My boyfriend grabbed the thong to take it off, but it broke. He didn't know it was my mother's, and he said it wasn't intentional. I thought my best idea was to buy a new one to replace it, but I don't have enough money, and my boyfriend didn't want to help me pay for it. I ended up telling my mother the truth, and she wasn't that mad, but now my boyfriend's upset because he says it's something embarrassing for my mother to know, and then now he'll be embarrassed and ashamed every time he sees her. He argues that I could have just told her that I took the thong and broke it without involving him. Am I the asshole? Short story, but a lot to unpack.
Wow. There's like a serious two-sided coin here.
Are thongs expensive? Like, I can't imagine like a decent looking thong. Like, I imagine you could get a decent looking thong for like $20.
I guess I'm gonna just have to ask what brand.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are some expensive ones out there.
I'm sure a Victoria's Secret thong is not the same as a Walmart thong. And
I kind of imagine like a G-string where it's like next to no material, right?
Yeah.
And it's like real thin, and he accidentally breaks it, taking it off, and they're like, "Oh, it's my mom's shit," and she's like, "Well, I'll just buy a new one," and it's like $150 thong. It's like so stupid like that. And he's like, I ain't fucking paying for that. Why are you wearing your mom's underwear? That's weird. To me, that's weird anyways, to wear someone else's underwear. But like to wear someone else's underwear
In the
to go fuck,
context, yeah, in the
yeah, is
context
even
of
more
fucking.
weird.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like I
He's kind
said,
of the asshole for not helping her pay for it.
yeah,
I mean,
to be like so standoffish about it. I mean,
I'm not doing that. Yeah, yeah.
but
I do understand why he's uncomfortable about her mom knowing, but you don't be a dick about it. She's uncomfortable too, I
yeah, but
imagine.
I'm still gonna circle back real quick to her borrowing her mom's underwear.
That's the asshole
Cause,
move.
cause like in one regard, if it's clean, and I mean, like clean,
It's
clean,
still like then it's
it's
like not physically gross, but like emotionally gross.
yeah, it's still dirty. It's still
Yeah,
not clean in the essence of
right.
not. There's no visible poop stains, but there's
That we know of,
yeah,
allegedly.
yeah. Allegedly, if it's a black thong, you're never gonna know.
Wait, your poop's black? It should be brown, Nick.
Hey, I'm saying dark colors don't show up well in dark colors. Black hides everything but semen. Um,
True.
so yeah,
Yeah, that's weird for me.
it's not
'Cause like,
okay.
yeah, that'd make me uncomfortable as a parent if like my kids borrowed anything from me.
Hey,
That's
Dad, I borrowed your boxer briefs because I didn't want to look gay wearing these whitey tinies.
hey, I mean I don't have a son, but hey, I borrowed your jockstrap. I don't have one of those either. I don't play sports.
Nah,
For my game, you know what I mean? Like that's like weird to
yeah,
me.
yeah. I think
Hey, Dad,
sharing,
I didn't have a like I borrowed your butt plug for the
I
football
think,
game.
I think sharing anything that goes underneath your main clothes, like bras or uh,
Anything that's underwear,
underwear in general. Yeah,
socks too. I guess maybe.
I've stolen my wife's
No,
socks
I
before.
could see socks being okay, especially if you just like if you get them out of the dryer, whatever, and they're clean. But
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I mean that's where like socks aren't like they don't have the emotional attachment to a thing
yeah.
that's touching your hootie ha. So yeah, the fact that was her mom's is
See,
a little weird and just kind of disturbing.
hmm I
And
agree.
for him is probably slightly emotionally traumatizing. And probably didn't like getting put on the spot about the fact that it
He
broke.
broke it.
And
It was him.
then she's like
What? Were you aware? What?
yeah, and then she's like, well, you just broke my mom's G-string. This isn't mine. And then how am I supposed to feel? Like, really?
Yeah, like really?
You're gonna put that on me? You're the bitch who fucking wore it over here. I didn't
So like
ask you to steal your mom's fucking G-string, bruh.
it's like
I asked you to go fucking get
here's
one and wear it.
what's weird. It's like if it let's say it didn't break. Like if I just found out you're wearing your mom's underwear and we were like having sex, that's weird to me. But like
Yeah,
let's say some spillage happened on a shirt. And you're like, "Oh, this is my mom's shirt." That's kind of funny. That's not weird. That's just kind of funny. You know what I mean? Like
right.
so it's something, yeah, it's the undergarments. The unmentionables. Um the next
Yeah.
one. Am I the asshole for letting air quotes my nephew's friend eat something that's not vegan? I, 25 female, help my sister a lot with her kids. She has a 2-year old, a 5-year old. Oh, she has two, sorry. 5-year old son we'll call Lucas and a 3-month old called Hazel. I go to her house every other day to hang out with the kids and also sort of keep an eye on how things go with their nanny. I also step in every time their nanny can't. Now on to the issue. A few days ago, my nephew brought a friend home, Adam. I had no idea he was coming until my sister dropped them both off with me and Hazel. There was no real issue here. I just warmed the food my sister had already set up, so there were two identical plates with the same food. All was well for a few hours. I just supervised the kids every 10 to 15 minutes to see that they weren't blowing the house up. Just when it was getting dark, I set the kids up to watch Disney Plus, and Lucas asked if he could get snacks. My sister didn't have any restrictions about snacks, and nothing was mentioned to me about Adam, so I just told him to go for it. They watch half of an Olaf special, and Adam's parents arrive. As I quickly grab his backpack to walk him to the door, Adam quite quickly asked if he could please take some chocolate bars home. I said, of course, that it was fine. He should take as many as he wants. And so he does. We go to the front door, and his parents were there waiting. They pick up Adam. They thank me for taking good care of their son. Everything goes well, just until this kid shows the Hershey bar in his little hand. Seeing that, both parents went nuclear on me. It doesn't begin to cover it. Both of them began screaming about how disrespectful it was for me to give their vegan child animal products, that I was an awful person, and even accused me of giving him animal products just to disrespect them just because they're gay. I don't even know how to react because this is all news to me. I try my hardest to explain, but they won't stop yelling and have even made both kids cry. After yelling some more, both of them left and my sister came home. She asked what the hell happened. She agrees to it being my fault. I can't believe everything that's happened since I left my sister's house that night. I haven't gone back. She did leave a voicemail, but after all that went down, I don't want to hear it. I really don't feel like the asshole. And if anything, I just feel bad for the kids. So am I the asshole?
No, she's not.
No, not at all.
No,
You
not at all.
One, it's a dick move to just like, oh, here's an extra kid to take care of. Like that's not like something you just do to somebody. Oh, you thought you had just one kid, here's two.
I'm sorry,
No.
but
But
no.
you can't communicate. Yeah, you can't not communicate.
No, they can't
And
communicate. No, they can't communicate because as soon as they saw the fucking Hershey bar, they fucking exploded, right?
yeah,
And then eventually made the kids cry. Guess what? That's trauma for that kid now. You
it should have
fucking
been
idiot.
like, ooh, you had chocolate. Ooh, he's vegan. He can't have chocolate. Did so and so not tell you that he's vegan too? No, I had no idea. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Well, I mean, you didn't know. I guess it's not, your fault. You didn't purposely give it to my kid because you didn't know because no one told you. The
They-
sister's just mad at her because she is covering her own ass for not mentioning that the kid's vegan.
Yeah, well, fuck her.
Actually, the kid's the asshole. He should know better.
Yeah, the kids should know that there's clearly dairy in that milk
Yeah,
bar.
you fucking dumb kid.
There's dairy in that chocolate milk
He knew.
bar.
He
Yeah.
knew. He's like, oh fuck, I get to have chocolate. Hell yeah, mom, look, chocolate.
I'm high as fuck right now. Like,
No, it's just like
he starts fucking tripping from all the endorphins that the fucking milk content and the chocolate bar and released into his brain.
I'm kind of iffy about making your kids be vegan. Like you should not make your animals be vegan. I think that's animal cruelty. But the kids being vegan thing is kind of iffy. For me, like if I was vegan, I would be like, we're vegan. You can choose to live this lifestyle if you want, but we only make vegan meals because we're vegan here. And then like if the kid chooses to not be vegan, let him not be vegan.
Well, much like politics, dietary affiliations have extremes.
You're right. I
And
just feel like you should support the kid just the same way if you're not vegan and they want to be vegan. Give them options in the home or
well,
give them money to,
what I'm saying is you probably do have vegans who are like that, right?
Oh yeah.
And then you have the extremists who are
No vegans in my house, that communist shit.
yeah, in a way they
Mhm.
take on the role of a bit of a fascist approach to their veganism, and that's how you get people like vegan teacher who's no longer on TikTok due to just the amount of community guideline reports against her.
That's so funny. I don't really care if people are vegan or not. I'm not one of the people that really give a shit.
I don't hate people for
My
being
problem is with people who make one thing their personality. But anyways, I knew this kid in high school who was vegan, and he was kind of like that. Like that was his whole personality was being vegan, and it would crack me the fuck up because me, I'm fat and I would eat a lot of food. He would sit there and be like, that's not healthy for you. This is this and this. He's like, I'm the healthiest I've ever been. I feel great and this and that. And then he would have to take, I shit you not, 15 pills with his lunch of different vitamins and metals and stuff that he wasn't getting in his food. And
Yeah,
I just
I
I just
mean-
thought that was like so fucking funny. It's like I feel great. I'm so healthy, and here's my other lunch, which is a handful of pills.
yeah, you only live once, man. And I'm not saying you should go out and eat an entire fucking deer or a rack of ribs, but a little bit of protein won't kill you, and you can get it and I know you can get it from other sources other than meat. Meat just so happens to be very high in protein.
And it
And
tastes yummy.
yeah, and it's so good, especially when you get the sauce. Oh.
I love how it's just generic meat, generic sauce.
Well, because there's too many to cover, all right? We could do a whole episode on just
Just
fucking
meats and sauces.
meats and sauces, all right? And the different combinations. They're infinite, but
No,
uh,
I just feel like as a parent, especially like you should with this whole thing.
you should definitely let your children choose
You
and
open the
not
door for them to
and
live other
not
lifestyles. Yeah,
and not force them into one bubble.
they're
One
probably if you don't force them, they're probably just going to do what you do. That's how kids work.
Yeah, and then and that's the thing where you get people who force children, force things upon children. When you make something not sound appealing and force it upon somebody, typically their first reaction is to do the opposite because they don't like the aggressive push that you're trying to control them,
That's crazy.
even if it's your own children.
You know,
Um,
we are literally physically right there with Lizzie right now.
yeah.
If I like, that's where she is developmentally. If I say, "Hey, you can't do that," or "Hey, don't do that," she just do that. Okay. So like,
Yeah,
yeah.
it is a learning process, and you are going to spend a lot of time drilling that into her head because there are some things where it is appropriate for a parent to stop their child from doing said thing.
Mm-hmm.
And even if that is getting up and walking over to them and physically removing them from the situation that you're asking them not to be a part of, and then you firmly explain to them without, sounding too much like you're negotiating with a terrorist
Usually,
because
that's not safe. We gotta stop that. Thanks, please.
yeah,
Oh
if
no,
you're
you want to keep doing it? That's
if you're halfway across the room watching them stick a fork into an outlet
okay.
and
Honey,
you,
I don't
and
think we should do
and
that.
you're over here trying to negotiate with the toddler that they shouldn't be doing that, well, you failed as a parent because your kid probably electrocuted themselves.
Try
um
again.
Game over. Can I just load my previous save and try that one again? I think I might use a little more aggressive negotiations this time. Like, no, you don't negotiate with children on certain things. Now, when it's something stupid, sometimes it's easier to let them win. All right? You got to give them a few victories. Otherwise, they're going to think you're just, you know, a tight ass wad of shit that doesn't want them to have any sort of fun. They do have to learn. Arthur likes to get up on furniture and sit on the couch in the recliner like a big boy. Now, Arthur has his own chair, right? It's a big Joe, it's a big beanie bag chair, and it's just for him. That's Arthur's chair. But he's taller now. He can walk around, he can climb up on the furniture. He likes to sometimes sit up on the furniture with us to feel like, part of, the adult crew, so to say.
Not a second-class citizen in his
Yeah,
home.
yeah. He wants to feel, he wants to, to him that's
Grown up. That's a grown up thing.
at his age, that's like a maturity line, right? It's like, oh, hey,
I can sit there too.
my parents always sit there. I'll sit there too.
I
That's
can sit
fine.
still.
However, the little guy likes to sometimes stand up on the furniture and then proceed to bounce. And even when he's feeling a little evil Knievelish, he just straight jumps off the furniture. And we've had to reinforce with him on several different occasions, face to face, full removal of full removal from the situation, put in timeout, things of that nature. I never had to kick the kid's head in to get it through to him that he shouldn't be doing that. That's not how you parent either. That's an extreme. Being non-proactive enough and being a child abuser are two extremes to parenting.
Yeah, it's a nice middle line where you let the little things slide, let him be a kid, but means no, and you do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly.
See, that's my problem. I'll say no, we're not going to do that, and then I have to ask myself why. Why can't you do that? Because you don't want to clean up the mess? That's not a good reason. So then she gets to do
That's actually a perfectly good reason. Not wanting to clean up the mess. Just saying.
Because you don't want to deal with it. She can't
Just-
be a kid.
I'm just saying that's not such a bad reason.
Her fucking couch dismount, that reminded me, scares the shit out of me. She's going to kill herself.
How does
She will
dismount?
she'll walk over close to the edge and then just plop onto her butt onto the edge of the couch and springboard herself off onto her feet.
I don't like that either.
No, because I know one of these times you're just gonna land on your face.
Well, imagine if she just misses the couch
And just
altogether
goes
one
straight
time
down
and goes
to the
straight to the
floor.
ground and knocks the wind out of her.
Oh,
She's sitting there gasping for air, and you guys think she can't breathe, but she can. She just collapsed her diaphragm for
that
half a
reminds me.
second.
She was trying to climb onto the couch onto Bailey's lap, and Bailey thought she was up, and they let go of her. And Lizzie just tumbled straight down to the ground and landed on her back, and just looked up at Bailey with this face of pure deceivement.
Why,
how could
mother?
you forsake me, mother? She's a daddy.
Daddy, mommy just threw me on the floor.
It's pretty funny, man. They're great.
Kids are wild, man, and they're a lot of fun if you let it be fun. If you're a fucking asshole vegan parent who's just trying to control every aspect of their life, and they decide to rebel against you when they're of an age where they feel comfortable doing so, I have no pity for you. So yes, you are the asshole. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I agree. Fuck you. So this confession post I really sadly relate to.
No, good.
It's I tried to break my own arm so I could quit my job. Maybe not this job, but I've definitely been there in the past. Will it hurt that bad if a forklift runs my foot over? I mean, all I gotta do is not put the parking brake on, and
oh jeez. Kevin would have whipped anyone's ass in that yard for doing something like that. He would just be
you're
like,
on camera, jackass.
There was not a single camera in that lumberyard that I knew of, at least.
Hey Nick, you have to charge people for that kind of intel, man. At least make some money off of that.
Hey, we don't need to be starting another Vanta war over here. All right. Disclosing lumberyard secrets.
2 days ago, I was at work and I realized how much I hate my job. I'm a cleaner in an office building, and the adults who work there are filthy and leave disgusting messes every day. Anyways, on Friday, I worked until very late and I hate it. It's creepy, and there's a man who goes in and out of the building at weird times and makes me feel unsafe. Also, my partner wouldn't understand why I don't want to work there anymore and would get disappointed in me. So Friday rolls around last week and I tell myself I'm going to have an accident at work, so I don't have to go back. I think about how I'm going to do it. Slam my wrist in the door, drop something heavy on it. I psyched myself out before I could commit to those. Instead, I decided that I would just bash it in. That seems worse, actively bashing your own bone in compared to just slamming it in the door real quick or something. I grabbed a wooden stick from a broom. See, that's not going to do it. We're being real with ourselves. A wooden broomstick is probably not going to get the job done. Newsflash, it doesn't. I started hitting my wrist as hard as I could. I kept going until I couldn't move it and it was swollen. I cleaned up any evidence that I did it. I imagine her putting the broom back and wiping her tears away and straightening her shirt, then slamming the door real loud. I called my boyfriend and told him I slammed in the door. He called me and picked me up and told me I should call my boss to let her know I'm hurt. The next thing I know, my boss is there and her and my boyfriend are examining my wrist and asking how it happened. I stuck with the slamming it on the door. My boss told me to go to the hospital, so my boyfriend took me and I spent 5 hours in the emergency room for them to tell me it wasn't broken. I felt really guilty about what I did and was tempted to tell my doctor that I did it on purpose, but I'm pretty sure that that's a huge red flag. Haha. So I didn't hit it hard enough or as many times as I needed to. Now I don't know what to do. It would be a bit unbelievable that I slammed my wrist in the door again, so I'm stuck working a job I feel unsafe at. My boyfriend just wouldn't understand. Hold. Top comment. Oh wow. Oh no, please go. I have to reload it before I take this comment. Do you think she's an asshole? I guess that's the wrong subreddit. What do you think about that, Nick? There's a lot to unpack there.
Wow. Well, so I have a couple identifiable feelings on the subject. I, in fact, have worked jobs in the past where I have like daydreamed about like, oh, what if I got in a car wreck on the way there and couldn't go in?
Yeah.
Like not literally die in a car wreck, but just a bad enough
Just
one
bad
to
enough to where
where,
I can take a day off.
yeah,
Maybe the next couple of days.
exactly. So in that regard, those are just like fantasies. It's not
He-
something you actually want to deal with.
Here's the comment that really ties it all
Yeah,
together
yeah,
for
let's
me.
hear it.
Just quit, LOL. You can find another job somewhere as a cleaner with people you like. That's just it, though. I won't be able to find any other jobs for ages. I live in a small outback town in Australia, and it took me 18 months to find this one. Here it comes. Just move to the US, start a business, or find a job. I'm 15, live in a very small town, and I could easily find a job that pays $15 to $20 an hour. I know $20 an hour isn't as good, but for a 15-year-old, it is.
Wow.
The internet is a wonderful place. That's what I mean.
Just
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 move to a
just
different country. Duh.
just fuck your country and come to ours. Duh. That's what everyone else does.
Just fucking move countries. Apply for a visa, get a passport,
So
prove why
that's
you should be a citizen
so that's
there.
funny. That helps actually now that we know a little bit about her other, background situation.
Once you get there, Nick, start a business. Yeah, it does. See, that makes because you don't think about that. I mean, at least me, I think everyone on the internet's in a similar situation to me until I read more about it. Uh, but like, yeah, it's not like you live in Chicago or New York or even a place like, middle of nowhere, Ohio, where there are
Yeah,
there are jobs and
even in
like
our towns, Marion and Delaware respectively, we have corporate parks, we have factory districts, we have downtowns, we have fast food restaurants, we have dine-in restaurants, we have department stores, we have everything that a normal city, suburbanized city in the United States reasonably has come accustomed to, all of which provides endless opportunities for entry level jobs that really no one's probably ever happy with. But those are at least options that you have on the table. I worked for two different cell phone stores in the same town. Um, hated both of them, but I could actually stand one more than I could the other. That's just
Mhm. At least you have a preference a little bit or choice,
yeah, in my experience, it's always about evolving with your jobs. Going backwards or moving laterally in the workforce is very painful and takes its toll on the soul very quickly. You don't want to get stagnant because that can lead to burnout and that can lead to things, extremities as such as this, where you actually didn't just think about harming yourself to the point where you wouldn't have to go to work, but you actually did it. And then you failed at it. And now you just feel kind of like now you have all these other emotions other than anxiety, because anxiety is what brought you here. Anxiety was the vessel, and then it bloomed into this fucking circus of this, you know, um, pony show of just lies and deceit, and now you've achieved nothing but make yourself look like an asshole, and now you're kind of stuck because you didn't achieve what you set out to do. Um, so now you
No, you
just
just have a hurt wrist and
now
have to go to work on Monday.
yeah, now you just have a hurt wrist and you still have to go do this job that you fucking hate.
Ugh.
And knowing the background of where she lives and the opportunities available to her, imagine that's a pretty defeating feeling, knowing that if you don't And when she was talking about the whole my boyfriend just want to understand thing, that alone, the location alone makes that make more sense. Because
Well, she also, I should mention, sorry, a little more context. He apparently has a pretty high paying job in the area. That's where they live there. So like he enjoys his work and
well, and that's
all
good
that.
for
So
him.
even more of a reason why he wouldn't get her, Nick. He just wouldn't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand. I love my job and I go there every day and enjoy myself and make money and provide for us. Um, and I don't know what currency they use or what their conversion rate
I'll
is
be
to,
honest with
to
you,
the
Nick.
dollar.
There are like 150 countries in this world. I
Yeah.
know the US dollar, the English pound, and the Indian rupee. That's all I know.
There's one more you know about. What does anyone in the EU use?
Pounds.
No,
What do they use?
they use
They
the euro,
francs?
buddy.
Euro. Well, isn't a pound a euro? Like, isn't that like the same money system?
No,
It's not.
no.
See?
Quick money lesson on international money. So I'm sure you heard the term Brexit in the last 5 years
Oh,
when
does that
when
okay?
referring to England.
Yeah,
England
okay.
left the EU to get off of the euro currency and go back to English pounds.
Mm,
Pounds are exclusive to the old Brits. Euro is what is the universal currency used by anyone who is part of the European Union,
mm.
the EU for short.
Does Germany use francs? Is that right?
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
But they might be on euros. I don't know if they're in the EU.
I have no idea.
And I know
I do know they're not letting weapons come through their airspace to go to Ukraine, though.
well, yeah, Germany
A unique position.
has a long history of picking sides.
They said, "Hey, you guys know that this is Russia and it's the winter, right? We're not fucking doing that again."
Yeah. They also have a gas
Hmm.
pipeline thing deal going on that I don't know a lot about, but I know it's there and it's making it awkward.
They would get fucked the most from this war besides Ukraine. Like just by like it happening, they
Yeah,
lose all their heating in their country.
it's tough.
Shouldn't have put yourself in that position, Germany. Sounds like a
Well,
you problem.
maybe you shouldn't have lost World War II.
You know what I say to you, Germany? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, buddy.
Better yet, join the right side of the war. And then once we all control parts of Russia, we can still do the pipeline deal and give you
Exactly.
heat. All right.
Exactly.
What are you gonna have to do? Go
We'll,
without
we'll
heat
give
for
you
like 30
2 feet on
days?
each side of that pipeline,
Tell
all
you
the
what.
way.
Tell you what. Those Russians have enough nukes to heat your entire fucking country for the rest of infinity. How about them marbles? Nuclear power. There we go.
Boom.
How about this?
See, Ukraine already tried that. And look what happened.
Don't put yourself in a situation where you have to be reliant on foreign policy to power your fucking country.
Especially the one of the biggest dictatorships in the
Have you
world.
ever heard of energy independence in even the slightest? I understand there's like geological challenges in Europe compared to the United States because
We own this bitch.
we are a continent of three, and let's face it, out of the three, we wear the pants,
And the shirt and the socks.
and the hat and the gloves, and honestly,
Canada is our brassiere
no
and
one,
Mexico is our thong, okay?
yeah, no one else has clothes. They are the clothes, and we are the man wearing them, or hermaphrodite, whatever you want. So,
Non-binary.
non-binary, cis gender,
So you can be one, the other, both, or neither.
or pansexual. How about that? We'll fuck anything with a heartbeat. So except goats. Disclaimer: no goats.
We leave that to the professionals.
So
or
I
ISIS.
mean, they definitely are in an awkward position on that. So at any rate, I don't know how the fuck we got into global energy, But, and I'm not backtracking too far. We're going to get back to the confession. Australia, outback, fucked, hurting yourself, not good. Seek help. I know that her boyfriend is probably a fundamentalist, and that's why in that part of the country, I know this all. I'm remembering where this all started from now, which is as money, and conversion and all
always
that.
money.
It's always money. It comes back to money. Well, let's
Follow
look
the
at-
money.
Well,
Follow
yeah,
it.
you know, she's working this job for money, obviously, and she doesn't have a whole lot of options where she lives. And obviously, she can't just radically change her life by moving out of said country
That's so funny.
because a 15-year-old on Reddit said that's a good idea.
You know what? I think I will. I'm moving to Pennsylvania. I'll see you soon.
I'm not saying that she couldn't do that. That is always an option.
It's not though for a lot of people. Like neither one of us could just
Nah.
move countries tomorrow, you know?
Not tomorrow, but it's something that you can strive towards. That's where I'm trying to get to. That's the
True.
point. That's why see, I'm not gonna pick a bone with you about it right this minute. But that
We
is
can do it off the air.
but it's not like a big bone. But that is a millennial mentality. It's well, I can't do that right now, so go fuck yourself.
Well, of
Or
course, I mean, in this situation, we can talk about it. It's not really like if it's not like an option, it's not an option.
but it could be. But you have to set yourself up to first of all, you have to mentally like
It is not
commit.
physically impossible, no.
You have
But
to
realistically,
yes, you have to mentally commit to that, and you have to get more than one party on board because obviously she has a significant other, and I don't know how close they are, but it sounds like they're serious enough to where she doesn't think he would approve of her quitting her job. And she obviously considers his opinion to be held very highly. So one must think that they have a pretty established relationship. Obviously, you're not going to give a fuck what a dude that you've been dating for 3 weeks or a month thinks about you quitting your job. And if you do, then you were
it's a
abused
you
as a
problem.
child. You were
That's a
abused.
character flaw.
You were abused as a child, and you're not the main character of your story. So yeah.
You're used for character development in his story.
You're an NPC.
Well, we made it. Do you know how long it's been?
No.
Long enough.
Long enough, you think? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know what time we started, but it is
I want to say it was after 11:30, but before 12.
Okay. Well, then this is about as of right now, it's about a normal episode.
You know that I think it was in the 11:40 ranges when we started.
Yeah, it's about normal.
Normally I send a text or something in the beginning to remind myself, but
yeah.
I was too focused on your pretty face tonight. I missed you.
Yeah, I missed you too. But no, I think we're we're on to brighter paths after some people get some things figured out. Tyler and I are going to be constantly tired for the rest of our lives. There's no getting around that. So we're gonna just take
I kept cycling out kids last night. One would wake up, and when I'd get it to sleep, the other one would be awake. And then when I'd go back to sleep, the first one was awake again. It's like, what the fuck?
Owen's already teething.
That's rough.
He's only 4 months old, and I'm just like, why?
This is the hardest baby to hold ever. She does not fucking sit still. You can't holding her is a task. Like you can't watch TikTok or play games while you hold her. No, you're holding that kid and that's all you're doing.
I can't tell you how many times tonight I've had to take off one half of my headphone to make sure there's no screaming in my house.
See, I heard some screaming a little bit ago. I didn't get a text or anything yet, so I'm hoping that she went back to sleep.
Neither have I. I heard footsteps. That's why I was all right, I took off the headphone and I'm like, okay, what was that? And I hear footsteps above me, and then I hear a subtle little
See, I think I could tell you how what I heard went down. It's a pretty common one I hear. Lizzie rolls over in the middle of the night and goes, "Mommy, booby," and Bailey goes, "No, not right now, Lizzie." And she goes, "Ah!" And goes back to sleep immediately.
Yeah.
That's It happens like 3 or 4 times a night. It's awesome because I'm always like, shit, I'm gonna have to take this kid. And then like
Yeah.
10 minutes later, nothing happens. So I'm like, okay.
Arthur sleeps through the night, has since he was 1.
That's a
Um,
rare occasion here. She usually parties.
yeah, right. And then Owen is on a routine, but he obviously still gets hungry in the middle of the night. So we feed him maybe a bottle or two throughout the night. And then he just has his random wake ups along the night as well, where if he, starts feeling some tooth pain, maybe wants his pacifier, he'll wake up and he'll throw a fit for a few minutes. You get him to take his pacifier again, and then he usually calms down. But when he's hungry, he won't stop. Like that's how you,
Hmm.
and that's how
That's
you
how you
know.
know.
That's
Nothing
how,
works.
yeah. Nothing
Well, she
else works.
decided today that she wasn't going to take a nap. So hopefully she doesn't wake up tonight because of that.
Which one?
Lizzie.
Oh,
So
yeah,
it's not as bad as the newborn, but it's still
yeah.
pretty bad. It could have been worse. She did all right with this is a parenting podcast now,
Is she too?
but she'll be 2 next month.
That's what I thought.
But
So,
so like she tried to lay down twice, and both times Bailey was like, "Nah, I'm not doing it. I give up." And I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever, man. Like I can
yeah,
do it." It's like, nah, fuck it. She doesn't
yeah.
want to nap. Alrighty, she does this sometimes, and then she wants to nap at like 3:30. Her bedtime is
It's
7:30,
too late.
and
Yeah,
it's like you have like a 5 hour wake window, kid. No, you're not. You're not like no.
4.
Sorry. No, her wake window is a 5 hour minimum. Usually it's more, but she's not sleeping. Like,
Oh, I got. Oh, I see.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're going to be up for the next 5 hours. After you take a 2 hour nap, no, no, sir.
No. Yeah, Arthur, he gets one nap during the day, and it's usually a pretty decent one. It's usually anywhere from 1.5 to 3 hours. It just depends on how
Three
tired he
hours sounds
is.
amazing. We
It
usually get an hour to two,
it almost never happens. But
but
yeah, here's the problem though, in that what used to just be pure profit free time is now usually
baby
Owen
time.
Owen usually takes 2 naps in that time span. And I'm like, why can't you just sleep the same amount of time as your brother?
That's what like the best way to describe it, having a toddler and a newborn, is you have to parent at half capacity because someone's always holding a newborn. So
Yeah.
the other parent is always wild. I wouldn't recommend having two this close together. It's not the worst thing that's ever happened to me, but like
No.
if I would have known more, I probably would have waited longer.
Yeah.
This is why we need sex ed in school. It's already Nick, our third topic for the night, sex ed.
Yeah. So, well, uh, you know, I think for a fourth dumpster fire, we covered a lot of ground tonight.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Um,
I mean,
and you got what you can only expect from a dumpster fire. We were a little all over the place. Um, we
I think we
had
had some good conversation in there.
no, there's a lot of great conversation in there, but we were a little bit all over the place as far as transitioning. But that's fine because you know what?
Uh,
It's a dumpster fire.
yeah. Are we doing World War III next week if everyone's here?
We ought
If
to.
it doesn't kick off before then?
We said that 2 weeks ago and it didn't kick off yet. So I'm gonna just assume that it's never
It's
gonna
not kicking
happen.
off.
But I'm
We're
gonna
gonna talk
talk
about it
but
though.
we're gonna talk about it. Yeah.
I'm gonna find some good World War III memes.
We're
Yeah.
gonna dig in, so to say.
Here's a sneak peek. I saw it was just like a black screen on TikTok. It said, "What's happening in the world right now?" And then like it was two black guys just like nose to nose staring each other down, and it was United States and Russia, and they just
Oh,
kept getting closer and closer to each other. Yeah, there's your first tidbit. Check out the socials. The Facebook page, TJN Podcast, TikTok, TJN Podcast. Send us some viewer emails, tjnpodcast@gmail.com. We haven't gotten it yet, and we're going to keep asking until we get at least 10. Okay.
if someone
Thanks.
just wants to even email us
Say
that
hi.
we're a hot fucking mess, but you love every minute of our shenanigans, I don't care.
I'll take it a step further. Tell us we're bad. I don't care. We'll
That's what
talk
I
about
just
it.
said, basically.
No silver lining though.
No silver lining.
Tell us we're bad and we're fat.
Complete terrible.
You think we're the fattest podcast on Spotify, pound for pound?
Nah.
No, I don't think so either. There's some fat dudes out there.
You see, I got a lot of muscle. That's my problem.
Right, but I'm talking pure in weight numbers.
Mm,
Total poundage.
right. No, definitely not. There's got to be a fatter fuck out there than us doing a podcast.
We should find him, kick his ass. That's what we should do.
Right. You think you're number one? There can only be one.
Do you think those sisters from My 1,000-Pound Sisters have a podcast?
No.
No, their media metric is definitely video.
Yeah.
You have to see them. Yeah.
Yeah. You're definitely up and close and personal with them on the telly.
Alrighty, that's it.
Yes.
Have a
Another
good
episode.
night.
Good night, y'all.
Bye.
Peace.